I think one of the most important things is finding people that can inspire you. I was lucky enough in my experience to look at my dad, for example, came from normal beginnings, spent a lot of time growing up on the couch at his home. Now I see him and he has a house of his dreams and he has the cars that he has dreamt of. And his goal was to create an opportunity for his kids that perhaps he didn't have. And now I'm in the position to hopefully create opportunities for and encourage others who were like me when I was a kid, who maybe don't have that person to look to. Role models are inspirational and they show you what is possible. There are a few people that I looked up to when I was young. Muhammad Ali. One of the things I thought of Muhammad Ali was, one, he looked like me, so he showed me that it's possible for someone like me to be able to succeed at something. He stood for so much. He stood his ground. He fought for what he believed in. He was funny and witty about it. And he would say, I'm going to go out there and win. And I think those were positive, even though people joke and laugh at the things he said, they were positive affirmations.
I'll be pecking and a poking, pouring water on his smoking. Then this might shock and amaze you, but I will destroy Joe Frazier.
He was telling you all what he was going to do, but he truly believed that. So the lesson from that for me was speaking positively, telling yourself you can do it. And that's what I do when I'm training, when I'm practicing on the track or on the simulator or working with my engineers. That's what I tell myself. Ayrton Senna raced Formula One, and when I would come home, I would put on this video of his, which was just called Racing Is in My Blood. And it's the only video I had. I got it for Christmas when I was probably 8 or something, and I watched it like a million times. I would sit right next to the TV looking at just how he was steering, how he was turning through the corners, how aggressive he was, how he spoke about the things he believed in, how laser focused he was. And at the time, I looked at him and I was like, that's what I want to do. I've got to be an aggressive driver. If I'm going to be a driver, I've got to be aggressive. I've got to believe in myself. There is no limit. If you're not going for a gap, then you're no longer a racing driver. So I'm going for every gap. So he was an inspiration for me. At the end of 2012, I was coming to the end of my contract with McLaren, who had signed me when I was 13. We'd had 6 amazing years together. I had a choice, either to continue on with them, or do I go somewhere else and test everything I've learned there and see if I can build something new in a team that's had less success. It's not currently a top team. And that was a decision I took for myself, whilst lots of different people told me to stay at McLaren. Even my dad told me to stay at McLaren. I had to really just look deep and see what I wanted to do. When I was speaking to Mercedes, Niki Lauda was the first point of contact, and he was the person that was calling me at home and trying to talk me into coming to the team. And we didn't really know each other very well, me and Niki. He was commentating, and so he'd see me from afar, and he had preconceived opinions of me. He knew that I was fast, but he didn't agree with the ways in which I did things, because I did them differently, and I was different. But when we first sat down and started talking, he was like, wow, you're just like me. You're a racing driver. And we clicked, and then went on this journey together once I joined the team of fighting for world championship. He really kept the pressure on. When I didn't do well, he would do this. It's like, give me my money back. And then the days that I did well, he would take his cap off. The biggest sign of respect was when he would take his cap off, which he never did very often. That was him acknowledging that he sees you on his level of driving, I guess. He was very influential in pushing for more performance with the board from Mercedes to really push us forwards to fighting for all the 7 world titles we've achieved as a team. there was no end to what you could learn from him. So he's no longer with us, but he's always with us in spirit. The silver Mercedes stars all over our car, and there's a red one for Nicky. When I started breaking records, for some reason, I don't really think about them too often. I think because if you start to believe the hype, then I think it's easy to lose your way. And so I just don't focus on them. I just take it one race at a time. Of course, when I was told that I was getting close to Ayrton's records, it was just very surreal, because I remember I used to come home from school and put the video on, and I was watching this guy, and it was such a dream. It was impossible that was going to be me. But there I am, qualifying as many times on first as Ayrton, winning as many races, winning 3 world titles as he did, driving aggressively like he did, standing for what I believe in like he did. It's crazy when your name starts being mentioned in the same sentence as the greats, the people that I've grown up watching: Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, Damon Hill, Alan Prost. To then be considered and respected in the same light as those, that's really a very humbling experience, and makes me feel that I belong within them. It's definitely a strange experience to be seen as a role model when someone mentions it, or if you meet a kid or teenager or even an adult, someone that's even older than you. I've had those experiences, and it's very surreal. It's difficult to understand, but when you take a step back and think about when you were coming up, when you were looking at those individuals like Ali or Ayrton Senna or even my dad, I feel really grateful in that moment that I can be that for someone. There are so many people out there that you can look at for that, right? Even if it's one person and one kid that I can help get over that hump or that hurdle or that barrier in terms of believing in themselves and going on to do something great, I feel that would be, my time here had been worthwhile. I was very, very lucky. My dad was really like a superhero to me. He was that guiding light, and I know a lot of people don't have that, but there are people that you can look to, I think, for that inspiration. I've got great friends who have not had father figures, but their mom has been that lead character, or their older brother or sister. So there's lots and lots of great people you can look around to for that inspiration. I think finding what you care about, what touches you or taps into the core of who you are. I try to follow people that I admire, people out there who are doing amazing things, people that are really showing positivity but also consciously aware of what's happening around them. And sometimes they post things that I was unaware of, and then you look into it and it takes you down a rabbit hole and you discover new things. So I think for me, I try to surround myself and follow people that I can extract inspiration from, because we all need inspiration, right? No one's perfect, don't have to be perfect, but this beautiful thing we call life is an amazing journey, and there are so many great people out there, as I said, doing great things.